Dun, dun, dun. Nope. I hate it. Not a fan. Dislike. Not for me. In today's episode of the Echelon broadcast, we're going to talk about how to prepare for haters. So stay tuned after the intro.
To go where no one else goes.
What's going on? It's Mark with Echelon Media, helping you elevate your story and empowering you to create videos for your small business or entrepreneurial venture. Welcome to another episode of the Echelon broadcast. And today what we're going to talk about, as I mentioned before the intro, is how to prepare yourself for haters. Before I go on, I want to make sure that you actually subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that you are aware and informed every time I drop videos like this every single week. Today, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about how to get ready for haters. Now, the big takeaway lesson for this is you really can't. At some point or another, people are just going to disagree with your point, and they're always going to critique and criticize whatever it is that you have to say. And as you go bigger, and as you scale your business, and as you reach a broader audience, it's just going to happen. The next point is you want to stand firm in what you believe in. At some point, everyone is going to try to bully you to believe that what you are thinking or what you're saying is probably false. And maybe in their reality, this is true. But if you happen to be helping people out and there is some measurable success with what it is that you're doing as a small business, don't worry too much about your particular approach and your perspective in the world and let the haters hate. The next point, after all of those things are considered, is to shut up and just get back to work. The thing is, if you continue to keep defending yourself, you might actually be fanning the flames of this whole issue. So just let it go and get back to work. And that, for the most part, is how you handle haters. Now, if you happen to be sticking around for a little bit longer and have a little more patience to see the rest of the video, I will drop a little bit of a bonus at the end. Before I go on, though, I want to make sure that if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you stay up to date every time I drop these videos. Now, to go on, let's go a little bit deeper into these points. The unfortunate fact of life is that people have different opinions, and that's perfectly okay. You don't need to try and convince everybody that what you're saying and what you believe in is necessarily the truth. There is no one truth. The thing is, if you're a small business owner, and you have your approaches, somebody in another business or somebody who has worked with another service provider is probably going to think that your service, for whatever reason, was not as great as this other person's business was. And you have to be okay with that. It's going to happen. And honestly, I can't really think of a circumstance where it's been that terrible. But given the way that things are nowadays, where people feel that much more emboldened and empowered to speak their minds and talk about your business, because reviews are a bit of the lifeblood of anyone's business, what tends to happen is that if someone has a bad experience with your business, they're going to be very vocal about it because, we've just been taught that that's perfectly okay nowadays. And people can be very, how else do I put this? Like inconsiderate of the fact that just because you're speaking your mind on the internet doesn't mean that it doesn't have any weight, and it can actually hurt other people, even business owners. And that happens to be you. So keep that in mind and understand that it's probably going to happen. There is that silly saying where they say that you're not as successful or you're not that successful until you've got a good chunk of haters. I don't think that's necessarily the way you want to approach business or life in general. You don't want to accumulate haters with every level of success that you have, but basically the more visibility that you gain, the more that people are going to want to take shots at you, and that's just the way things go. Now, the next thing is you want to stand up for yourself. If you know that you have measurable success with the clients that you work with, if you know that the work that you do is honest, make a point to actually discuss this with either that particular client or customer who is dissatisfied with your work, or if it happens to be a much broader thing where people are calling to question your practices, show them, if you have the opportunity to, that one, you're not trying to be a jerk about it, but you do good, honest work, and that's perfectly fine if some people are dissatisfied with it. trying to resolve the issue or defending yourself and proving that there are actually people who are strong believers in what it is that you do may calm things down a little bit for you and maybe get things back to normal. Ultimately, as we'll get into with point number 3, you really shouldn't get too caught up in it because you should just shut up and get back to work. What do I mean by this? Meaning, let the whole drama die. If you keep feeding into it and keep fanning the flames, it might get worse and it'll just be that much harder to recover and get back to doing what you're supposed to do, which is to serve your customers and not trying to defend yourself against a handful of people who are not satisfied. And frankly, unless you're just absolutely terrible or you've just made a lot of mistakes, for the most part, all the haters and all the people that are going to talk bad about you are not all that numerous. It can feel like it because they're detached and you can see a lot of them online, and that's perfectly fine. Move on. Continue with the work, especially if you're going and providing good work and good services. Continue with that. Don't let that suffer because somebody wants to troll you incessantly. Now, here's a little bonus that I want to drop on you. But before I go on, again, I just want to make sure that if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so that you stay up to date with these videos as I drop them every single week. So the bonus, apologize profusely if people are out for blood. Meaning, if someone was wronged and is particularly hell-bent on taking you down, apologize. Apologize to everybody. Don't get caught up in a battle. Just say, listen, I won't let this mistake happen ever again. If there's anything I can do to correct the situation, let me go ahead and take care of that. And frankly, if you're thinking about the long-term life of your business, you're going to want to pay attention to that. You know, if you can mend things and go on from there, it's a lot better than letting it linger or you getting caught up in some silly battle, which then just robs the energy from your business and what you could actually be doing to service the people that are in love with what you do. So make sure that you actually give them some love and focus back in on them. So just a quick reminder for that last point, apologize profusely if they are out for blood. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I hope this was awesome and beneficial and useful for you. I know it can be tricky out there navigating the world in this current political and social climate. So you're bound to get people who are gonna speak out and not be too happy about who you are as a person sometimes, which may not have any relevance to your business, but it's just going to happen and you have to be prepared for it and be okay with the fact that's just part of the cost of doing business. All of that aside, I want to make sure that if you happen to find any value in this video whatsoever, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead. If you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Do it for me. I would really appreciate that. That way I'll know if you happen to like this. And if you happen to want to give it a do me a favor, click 2 thumbs down and drop a comment down below in the comment section and let me know what it is that you didn't like about this particular video. But if you happen to just want to talk or you have any comments, ideas, suggestions, things of that nature, put those down in the comment section as well. And of course, if you want to see this as well as other videos that I drop here every week, go ahead and subscribe and make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you stay up to date with these videos as they drop every single week. Like always, this has been another episode of the Echelon broadcast. My name is Mark with Echelon Media, helping you elevate your story. I'll see you later. Peace out.